Good morning. My book is about the happy birthday of Madame Chapeau. One of the first things that I did was create a colour study down this side of the page using different paints and French knots. On this page, I did my first attempt of painting with emulsion paint and outlined with chain stitch. Below is some stenciled words because the book is about hats. Over here, I'm covering up a very bad drawing with a collage of a hat. On this page are various little cutouts that didn't work for me on paper, so I cut them out and attached them to the page. They're rather sweet, but unfortunately how Karen had worked it didn't work for me, so I have all these little individual poofs, as I'm going to call them, on the page. I rather love this technique. It's creating lace with scrim. I've embroidered little hearts on here because there are hearts throughout the book. And it's made a nice lace skirt for Madame Chapeau. More little puffy paper cutouts. On this page, I have embellished the feather hat with a turkey stitch. And this is the other side of the apron, and I think this goes quite well with this lacy hat underneath. I very much love this technique. Here we created tissue page. I'm not sure how to call it, but it's like a paper mache. I drew on it with pen, did some French knots, and attached another lace insert where we did various cutouts. I embroidered hats on the silk inserts, and then I placed it so we could see Madame Chapeau peeping through one of the cutouts. And underneath the cutout is this lovely hat that she's working on. I've added ruffles and French knots to the page. This technique here, it always gets flattened, so it never really shows. But what we did was create these tissue pages, embellished them, and then inserted them into the book. I also have more stencil cutouts, and I'm featuring this little mouse because he does turn up in various pages. So here he's there, and then he's down here, and he escaped the clutches of the cat. And I embellished the dog here with a copy of one of the pages just to make him a little bit brighter than what he looks like over here in yellow. This is Madame Chapeau's birthday dress. So I gave her a piece of lace to embellish it. And then this is her paper dress, which has various different techniques on it. But mainly it's done with pencil and pen, and I added the press studs. Very interesting concept with some French knots. To make her dress even more glamorous, I added some lace and beads, and then I drew these little replicas of the hat that she's wearing here. Added another little mouse. This page just is a sample of work. These are round circles that have been stuffed up while they've been sewn down. And then I just embroidered in bright colours on the silk. Here she's losing her hat, and this naughty crow over here picks it up and flies away with it, much to her. Her absolutely was devastated by losing this hat. This is another sample piece. It is very fine Japanese paper, free motioned onto an ivory coloured silk. And then I embellished it with some antique buttons up here, another Suffolk puff, and some lettering and some pins which are featured through the book. As Madame Chapeau travels through the town to her birthday party, various people offer her their hats. Here the baker has offered his hat, which is a lovely baker's hat. So I gave her the option of choosing this beautiful Suffolk puff. The local gendarme offered his hat, so I gave him as a reward a beautiful blue tunic and a little hat. On this page, following Karen's instructions, I made this round piece and attached it using buttonhole and French knots. This piece this little one here, is actually painted onto the silk and then drawn into with pen. As you can see, everybody wants to give her their hat. Here I have embellished the tunic of our man who was going to offer her his fez, and on the other side I have embroidered our mouse who also was offering her his top hat. This was one of the fun pieces that we did, and it is stuffed with stuffing from the back drawn up to create these beautiful textures, and I made a handbag for Senor Cortez. Our local merchant didn't have much to offer, but he had this beret right up here to offer, and so to fill in his shop, I covered buttons and add them to these areas here. On this page, Karen showed us how to cut a piece out and make an insert by punching acrylic paper and adding French knots, and I attached it with ribbon with tiny little beads at the end. A rather nice technique. Here is another technique of using our tissue paper drawn on, concertinaed and held in place with organza ribbon. On this particular sample here, I have drawn and embroidered, and I have drawn various characters that we come across in her restaurant where she goes to celebrate her party. Here we are at the party, but she was so distraught not having her hat that she couldn't eat a bite. So I stenciled the words up here, did some little drawings, and then took my life in my hands and followed Karen's instructions to put a zipper in the page with a piece attached to it. I used the word surprise on here because she's not going to go hatless, and the surprise is that this little girl has knitted her this beautiful pom-pom hat. I haven't embellished every page, but on this one I used the tags with the little stuffed round pieces of silk. And I've left this blank because it sort of is too nice a story to ruin it. She's happy. They had their birthday party. She's found that she has a friend in this little girl who knitted her hat. And so the story ends with Madame Chapeau with her lovely friend, and they cheerfully stay at home making more hats. And as you can see, the little girl has made hats for the cat and the dog, and Madame Chapeau continues to make her very elegant hats for the ladies of the town. This is a page insert that I have not finished. As we know, life gets in the way, but it's a good record of little things that you do, and I have got things to finish off. And so it's an ongoing process, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Karen.